The internet didn't just react to this, it froze. Because within minutes, one headline detonated across every timeline like a bomb no one saw coming. Papoose hospitalized after a violent altercation, and Claressa Shields seen breaking down in tears outside the emergency room. No confirmation, no statement. Just sirens, whispers, and a name that instantly changed everything: Eazy. According to rapidly spreading reports, what started as industry tension allegedly turned into a brutal, closed-door confrontation that sent one of hip-hop's most respected figures to the hospital. And the most haunting image of the night: not the fight, not the blood, but Claressa, the undefeated champion, shaking, screaming, and crying outside hospital doors as if she was watching her entire world collapse in real time. Witnesses claim this wasn't random. This wasn't heat-of-the-moment chaos. This was built-up resentment finally exploding. Tables overturned, security scrambling, someone yelling to call an ambulance, and then silence, deafening silence, especially from the one person everyone expected to speak. Where was Ma? Why did Eazy allegedly walk away while medics rushed in? And how did a situation fans once dismissed as subtle shade escalate into a hospitalization that could have ended far worse? Because insiders are now whispering something chilling, that this confrontation was never supposed to go public, and that the aftermath is far messier than anyone imagined. Deleted videos, alleged leaked voice notes, group chats lighting up in panic, and a growing fear that what happened that night is only the surface of a much darker story. If even a fraction of these claims are true, this isn't just hip-hop drama. This is betrayal. This is pride. And this is a night that changed everything. The tension didn't appear out of nowhere. According to alleged insiders and obsessive fan timelines, this moment had been loading like a gun with the safety off for months. Subtle things at first. Papoose posting cryptic quotes about respect and restraint. Claressa Shields sharing loyalty messages that felt less inspirational and more defensive. Ma appearing alone at events she once attended with her husband. And Eazy, always present, always calm, almost too calm. Fans brushed it off as internet paranoia, until the night everything exploded. Sources claim the night of the incident began at what was supposed to be a low-key, invitation-only industry gathering on a Brooklyn rooftop. No press, no phones encouraged, NDAs floating around like party favors. The kind of room where egos breathe heavy and old tensions don't stay quiet for long. According to witnesses, Papoose arrived alone. No entourage, no smiles, just purpose. Eazy was already seated. No greeting, no handshake, just eye contact that allegedly felt like a challenge. People in the room say you could feel it. That uncomfortable silence where everyone knows something bad is about to happen, but no one moves to stop it. One alleged witness described it as two men having a full conversation without saying a word. And then, according to multiple accounts, it happened fast. Too fast. A sudden movement. A chair knocked over. Someone shouting. And then chaos. Accounts differ on who made the first move, and that disagreement alone has fueled non-stop online warfare. Some claim Papoose swung first, driven by months of bottled-up humiliation. Others insist Eazy initiated, stepping into Papoose's space in a way that felt intentional. What everyone agrees on is the outcome. It wasn't a scuffle. It was violent, controlled, and terrifying. An alleged insider said, "It didn't look like a fight, it looked like someone snapping." Tables were reportedly overturned. Glass shattered. Security froze for precious seconds, unsure who to grab. Another witness claimed they heard someone scream, "Call an ambulance, he's not breathing right." That's when the room allegedly went dead silent, because no one expects things to go that far until they do. Papoose reportedly hit the ground hard. Sources say he tried to get up and couldn't. Blood visible, face swelling, breathing labored. At that point, security intervened and separated everyone, dragging Eazy away while others surrounded Papoose. And that's when the next shock hit. Within minutes, a black SUV reportedly screeched to the curb. Claressa Shields jumped out. No makeup, no entourage, barely dressed like she'd rushed out the door without thinking. Witnesses swear she wasn't supposed to be there. She wasn't invited. And yet somehow she knew. One server said, "She ran like she already knew what she was walking into." That detail alone sent chills through the internet later. According to people who were there, Claressa saw Papoose being loaded into an ambulance and lost it. Crying, screaming his name, trying to follow medics. One witness claimed she kept yelling, "Please, please, don't let him die." That image, the undefeated champion reduced to pure panic, spread like wildfire once people started talking. And suddenly, everything fans thought they knew about this triangle felt wrong. At the hospital, things allegedly got even worse. Multiple witnesses claim Claressa was seen outside the emergency room, packing, sobbing, banging on doors while doctors worked on Papoose. One person described it as watching someone break in real time. Meanwhile, according to staff chatter that later leaked online, Papoose was admitted with multiple injuries, facial trauma, rib damage, and signs of a concussion. None of it confirmed publicly, all of it spreading like gasoline through fan spaces. And then came the silence. No statement from Ramai Ma, no concern posted, no pray for him, nothing. That absence became louder than any headline. Fans immediately began asking the question no one wanted to ask out loud. Where was Ramai? And why wasn't she there? Screenshots began circulating of her last Instagram activity, calm, casual, untouched by crisis. That contrast infuriated people. Within hours, social media descended into madness. Hashtags trended accusing Eazy of crossing a line. Others blamed Papoose for letting pride take over. Some even accused Claressa of being caught in the middle of something she didn't fully understand. TikTok detectives stitched together old lives, old interviews, old moments that now felt ominous. A clip resurfaced of Papoose weeks earlier saying, "Some men talk, some men react." At the time, it sounded like bravado. Now, fans saw it as a warning. Then came the alleged leaked ER detail that sent chills through everyone reading it. A supposed hospital source claimed Papoose had internal bruising and was kept overnight for observation. Another rumor claimed he lost a tooth during the fight. None of it confirmed, all of it believable enough to spread uncontrollably. And according to one insider, Claressa stayed until early morning hours, not Ramai. Claressa. That detail alone shattered narratives people had held onto for years. Fans who once questioned Claressa's roles suddenly flipped. "That woman loves him," one tweet read. "That's not acting." And as that sentiment grew, so did the backlash against Ramai. Memes appeared within hours. Side-by-side images of Claressa crying outside the hospital and Ramai smiling in old photos. Harsh, unforgiving, viral. But the most disturbing development came when an alleged video clip began circulating privately. Not publicly posted, not verified, just described. A short clip of Eazy in the back of a car, shirt undone, face bruised, allegedly smirking. And according to those who claim to have seen it, he says something that made people sick to their stomachs. The exact words remain disputed, but the tone, unbothered, almost proud. That alone poured gasoline on an already raging fire. Then another rumor hit. An anonymous account claiming to be close to the situation alleged that Ramai had been invited to the rooftop gathering but pulled out last minute. The alleged message sent to organizers: "Too much energy in the room, I'll pass." If true, that detail changes everything, because it suggests awareness, foresight, maybe even intention. Fans immediately began asking if Papoose walked into something he should have avoided. And just when people thought the situation couldn't get more sinister, another alleged leak surfaced, a voice note supposedly from Claressa to a close friend, claiming she had warned someone weeks earlier that playing with two men's pride never ends well. The note allegedly ended with, "I tried to stop this." That sentence alone shattered people. Because if warnings were issued, if tension was known, if silence allowed it to escalate, then this wasn't just a fight. It was a failure. As sunrise hit Brooklyn, Papoose reportedly lay in a hospital bed, bruised, bandaged, and silent. Claressa exhausted and devastated. Eazy nowhere to be found publicly. And Ramai Ma still silent, eerily silent. But the worst part, according to one final alleged insider, Papoose refused to press charges. And that single decision raised a terrifying new question. What does he know? That we do. The moment word spread that Papoose was allegedly refusing to press charges, the entire narrative tilted into something far darker. Because silence in situations like this isn't peace, it's pressure. And according to people claiming to be close to the situation, that decision didn't come from forgiveness. It came from shock, humiliation, and a sense that speaking up would only make things worse. Inside the hospital, alleged insiders say the atmosphere was tense and controlled. Security tightened. Names were checked. Phones were discouraged. Nurses whispered. And Claressa Shields, who had already spent hours crying outside the emergency doors, reportedly refused to leave his side once she was allowed in. One witness claimed she was packing, shaking, apologizing over and over, saying, "I should have stopped this." That line alone tore through fan communities when it leaked. Meanwhile, outside those hospital walls, the internet was turning into a courtroom. Twitter exploded into factions within minutes. One side accused Eazy of taking things too far, pointing to his alleged lack of remorse and the rumored video of him smirking afterward. The other side dragged Papoose for letting ego lead him into danger. And then there were the posts no one wanted to read, the ones accusing Ramai Ma of knowing more than she was letting on. Hashtags suggesting setup, silence, and betrayals surged and vanished, only to reappear stronger each time someone tried to shut them down. Then came the first major alleged leak. An anonymous account claiming to be a former assistant dropped screenshots of what they said was a voice memo sent days before the rooftop gathering. The voice sounded eerily familiar, according to listeners, and the message allegedly warned someone not to act brave in a room full of tension. The implication was explosive. If true, it suggested the confrontation wasn't just foreseeable, it was expected. The clip disappeared within an hour, but by then it had already been screen recorded and reposted everywhere. Fans lost their minds. Reddit threads hit hundreds of comments in minutes. TikTok creators broke down the voice, comparing tone, cadence, and phrasing to past interviews. Some called it fake. Others said it was too specific to be coincidence. And once again, no denial came, just silence, carefully curated silence. The focus then shifted to Ramai. According to alleged hospital staff chatter, Ramai did not immediately show up after the incident. That alone ignited outrage. Papoose had stood by her through prison, through scandals, through everything. And now, when he was hospitalized, she was nowhere to be seen. Fans took that absence personally. Memes turned cruel. Comment sections flooded with anger. One viral tweet read, "He held her down when the world left. Now look." Things escalated when another rumor surfaced claiming Ramai attempted to visit later and was turned away, supposedly at Papoose's request. That detail, unconfirmed but widely believed, hit like a gut punch. Because if true, it meant this wasn't just physical injury, it was emotional separation happening in real time. Inside the hospital, alleged insiders say Papoose was quiet, withdrawn, not angry, just broken. One source claimed he wouldn't look at his phone, wouldn't ask questions, wouldn't talk about the fight at all. Doctors focused on his injuries, bruised ribs, facial trauma, concussion protocol, while the emotional wreckage sat untouched. And Claressa? She reportedly stayed until early morning hours, only leaving when staff insisted she rest. That detail mattered. Because online narratives shifted fast. People who once doubted Claressa's place in this story suddenly saw her differently. Not as a side character, not as a distraction, but as the person who showed up when everything fell apart. Her raw reaction outside the hospital, the crying, the panic, the desperation didn't look staged. It looked real, and the contrast with Ramai's silence only sharpened public judgment. Then came the second alleged leak, and this one changed everything. A short video clip shared privately at first allegedly showed Eazy sitting in the back of a car shortly after the incident. Shirt open, face marked, smiling. According to those who claim they saw it, he looked relaxed, unbothered. And then he allegedly said something that made people recoil. The exact words were disputed, but the message was clear. He felt justified, finished, like the situation was handled. Whether real or not, the clip detonated online. Calls for accountability surged. Influential figures weighed in indirectly, posting about violence, pride, and consequences. One rapper went live and said, "This ain't battle rap, this is real life." Another called the situation disgusting without naming names. And then Fat Joe allegedly joined a live stream demanding people stop glorifying what happened. The pressure was mounting. Police statements added fuel. The Brooklyn Police Department confirmed they were reviewing surveillance footage and online videos related to an incident at a private event. No names were mentioned, but the word aggravated appeared. That alone sent shockwaves, because now this wasn't just internet chaos, it was legal territory. Witnesses were reportedly being contacted, subpoenas rumored. The situation was no longer controllable. And still, Ramai said nothing. That silence fractured her fan base. Some defended her fiercely, arguing that people didn't know the full story. Others accused her of coldness, calculation, even manipulation. Her most recent Instagram post, a harmless selfie from days earlier, was flooded with angry comments. "You let him bleed. Where were you? After everything he did for you." The comments were so intense that they were eventually limited, which only made people angrier. Then Papoose's family entered the conversation. According to circulating screenshots, a woman claiming to be his sister posted an Instagram story blasting Ramai for abandoning him. The message was raw, furious, and impossible to ignore. "You let him bleed like a stranger after everything," it allegedly read. "You're dead to us." Whether authentic or not, the post spread everywhere, solidifying the idea that this rift was no longer private. Claressa finally broke her silence, and it was devastating. In an alleged radio interview, she spoke through tears, saying this wasn't just about a fight. It was about pride, betrayal, and watching someone she loved walk into a situation he never should have been in alone. She reportedly said she warned people weeks earlier that playing both sides would end badly. "Someone was going to get hurt," she said, and it was him. That statement reignited everything, because it implied knowledge, forewarning, and a failure to intervene. Fans demanded to know who she warned and who ignored her. Reddit threads pieced together timelines suggesting tensions had been escalating quietly for months. Unfollows, deleted posts, missed events, signs that were invisible until they were. As night fell again, the picture was clear. Papoose lay injured, refusing to speak publicly or legally. Claressa was shattered, emotionally drained and protective. Eazy remained defiant, visible, almost performative. And Ramai was silent, in a way that felt deliberate. But just when it seemed like the worst had already happened, a final rumor surfaced that sent a chill through everyone watching. An alleged insider claimed this wasn't the end of the fallout, because what happened on that rooftop was only one piece of a much larger story. And if that story comes out, this fight will look like the smallest part of it. By the time that rumor began spreading, that the rooftop fight was only one piece of something much bigger, the entire story shifted from chaos to countdown. Because suddenly, people weren't just asking what happened that night. They were asking what had been happening before it. And according to alleged insiders, the answers are uglier than anyone wants to admit. Behind the scenes, panic allegedly set in across multiple camps. Not emotional panic, strategic panic. The kind that comes when people realize narratives are slipping out of their control. Sources claim phones were blowing up with messages like "lock it down," "say nothing," and this can't go any further. Because once violence enters the picture, silence stops looking neutral. It starts looking complicit. Inside the hospital, Papoose's condition reportedly stabilized, but emotionally, things only deteriorated. Alleged insiders say he asked one question that stopped everyone in the room cold. "Who knew this would happen?" No one answered. Not because they didn't hear him, but because the answer wasn't simple or safe. According to one source, that was the moment he shut down completely. Claressa, meanwhile, allegedly became his gatekeeper. Hospital staff reportedly followed strict instructions about who could and couldn't visit. And one name, according to multiple whispers, was explicitly restricted: Ramai. Sources claim she attempted to come back again the following day and was told security had standing orders. Whether those orders came from Papoose himself or from people protecting him is unclear. What is clear is that when Ramai left the building, witnesses say she looked furious, not devastated. Furious. That detail alone set the internet on fire. because rage reads differently than grief, and fans began speculating that whatever was happening behind closed doors had crossed a point of no return. Comment sections filled with one word over and over again: betrayal. Not the internet kind, the kind that breaks people. Then came the alleged paper trail. TikTok creator with a massive following dropped a breakdown video that went viral overnight, stitching together burner account activity, deleted tweets, and timestamps that allegedly linked multiple people to the same location in the days leading up to the fight. The video didn't accuse outright, it insinuated. And that was enough, because insinuation, when backed by patterns, becomes persuasive. The creator ended the video with a line that made everyone uneasy. "This didn't start on the rooftop." That's just where it ended.